Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth.
Today's game is the iREM collection. iREM, makers of the SNES classic Dino City, also made a bunch of shmups that have now been re-released. Is this collection with iREM membering? Let's find out. iREM Collection Volume 1 is a compilation of 3 cult classic space shmups from the 80s and 90s, Image Fight 1, Image Fight 2, and XMultiply, as well as a bunch of different versions of each. I'll cover them individually now. Image Fight was originally released in 1988, and this collection contains the PC Engine version, NES version, Famicom version, and both arcade versions. It's a slower vertical shmup, think like older 1943 style of game, with its main gimmick being its options. Getting up to 3 orbiters allows you to increase your firepower, and with the new controls you can actually aim the red ones by pressing the right stick, while in the original they just rotate. The original game was pretty infamous for its difficulty, but the new controls help balance things out quite a bit. The NES version is a stripped down version, but still quite fun, and as a bonus this update removed most of the slowdown from the game, which was a great touch. XMultiply was originally released in 1989 and only to arcades. This horizontal shooter draws a lot of inspiration from Gradius, with its gimmick being 2 shooty tentacles you can acquire that fire your power-ups, which are basically just options, though you can fire them forward or backward depending on the situation, kinda like R-Type. There's also speed bomb and weapon power-ups, almost identical to Gradius as well. What makes the game interesting is its weird and bizarre visuals, reminding me a lot of stuff like Life Force, and overall I found the game to be weirdly fair for a shmup, meaning I enjoyed it quite a bit. Image Fight 2 was released in 1992, and marked an upgrade in visuals and audio as it was a PC Engine CD-only game, and that's the only version available here. It has fancy voiced anime cutscenes to use that CD, though the game itself is mechanically identical to Image Fight with dual-stick style shooting once you get your options. Overall, I did think it was better designed, looked prettier, and was funner to play. All games include both a standard mode and arcade mode, with standard allowing for modern stuff like save states, cheats, rewind, and so on, but disabling achievements, while arcade is the pure experience. The game also offers control improvements across the board. As mentioned, you can aim your options while shooting, as well as a variety of difficulty modes, and of course the limited continues. All the games can be played 2 players should you have friends, which apparently I don't based on the footage. And that's the iREM collection, 3 space shmups of varying versions, all of which I almost guarantee you haven't played before because nobody owned a TurboGrafx. So what did I like about the iREM collection? Well, all 3 of these shooters are quite fun, with XMultiply in particular being a great Gradius clone that I played through several times. The option mechanic and multi-directional firing on Image Fight was also a neat gimmick that made it play more like a twin-stick shooter than a shmup. Additionally, the emulation here is very solid. I tested these games out on a TurboGrafx emulator on my PC and found them ran almost identically, and the extra control features absolutely make this collection the better way to play them, plus there's no slowdown. And lastly, I really appreciated including every possible version of these games. I loved hopping between every version of Image Fight, particularly the 8-bit NES port, to see how the game was similar or different based on its hardware limitations. When it comes to the bad, this collection's pretty bare bones when it comes to any extras or bonuses. There's no behind the scenes or concept art, no special modes or even music tests, stuff pretty much standard with re-releases these days. Additionally, I did notice more than a little input lag when it came to these games, which isn't too awful except when I crank the games up to hard. And lastly, I found a lot of weird glitches in the UI, not the games themselves. On Xbox, you have to sign into your account every time you switch games. Whether the achievements would pop or not was completely hacky, and generally compared to other Radalikia ports, this UI felt rough. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale, must play, maybe consider, and don't bother, and the iREM collection is for a very specific type of person. Weirdos like me, who love obscure TurboGrafx shmups, and also game preservation. It's a collection of 3 great shooters with no frills or bonus content, but improved a lot with new controls and modern conveniences like save states and rewinds. If you really love space shooters of this era, then this collection is absolutely worth checking out, but the lack of any bonus content and the small number of games makes it a harder sell for a more casual enthusiast. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played or even heard of the iREM collection? Are they ever going to release Volume 2? Let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, go out there and maybe give the iREM collection a look.